Hello everybody, it's Christine and it is Sunday, which means it is time for Scraplift Crafternoon. Let me show you the layout here. It's by, she says it's linked to Moragcut, that's on Instagram. And then if you look at but it says Crop Cat, and she looks like she's we'll have a link below. So let me just kind of pull it up here. So she's actually used a hip kit collection, and you may be shocked I'm not using hip kit on this one because I do have hip kit, but I'm not going to use hip kit. She's kind of got this really big, nice title, and I've got a title picked out. I'm going to have to think if I want to expand on it because I do like how she's used the color in the color of, or in the title. So let me see about that. But I'll show you in a second. One photo, she's kind of got like, you know, a little cluster here, the photo cluster up here, and then she's kind of got, you know, there's like colors and images and things. I don't remember now, but I want to say this is, it looks like mixed media, but I think it might have actually been on the paper. And then of course it's kind of this ledger paper, but here's what I've got going on, y'all. I picked this Spectrum Gardenia up for $49 a market at convention, and y'all, this is so stunning. Look at this. This is just beautiful. These colors attracted me so much, and I don't know if on camera you can see it so, you know, as good as I would love for you to be able to, but look at this. It is just beautiful. And then I also got to go with the collection. I got these rub-ons, which, y'all, this is like, I'm just speechless. It's just so beautiful. So beautiful. And then I did pick up the little baubles that go with it, which are just, again, I'm going to use the word beautiful 1,000 times here. I got all these little pieces of the laser cut elements. And then I also got these butterflies. Look at that. It's this beautiful rainbow of butterflies, y'all. That's not even going in today. I'll set that aside. The paper I picked out, just to kind of go with the fact that she's kind of got, again, the florals on this side. She has mixed media here, but I think I'm going to use rub-ons over here. And I've got this picture of my daughter. I thought this was one of her little model photo shoots. So I think I can use this and build clusters and stuff around it. So I think get away with just this. I may have to get out a piece of cardstock or something. I don't know if I can bear to cut into any of these other sheets, y'all, just to make a photo mat. So I may have to get into my cardstock and use like a solid. But I definitely want to use this piece of paper. Is that not beautiful? Oh, y'all. So let me find my cardstock, and then I'll get to getting on here, and oh, my title. I had these big titles here by Hampton Art, and I think what I want to do is Big Dreams, and I'll have to use a different kind of S or something. It's going to look a little bit different, but she had different fonts. So I may do like something like Always Have Big Dreams or something like that. I'm kind of like it. And I have some smaller letters like she has, and I'll pull those out. But that's my thinking at this point. So let me get busy and I'll come back on. Okay, y'all, really quick check-in just so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So the paper base here is kind of the pink of the collection, right? And what I think I'm going to do is use probably this rub-on here in some kind of way down here. So it's kind of got the oranges in it. So I went off into my stash and I picked up a couple little orange pieces here. Has like, let me put it over here so you can kind of see it. Got the orange and the reds right here. I love that. I don't know what collection that's from. It's a scrap. I got my scrap papers, y'all. And then I have this kind of, it's a Bow Bunny double dot. And it's that peachy-ish color. It's kind of still orangey, but peachy. So I thought that would just kind of like bring that together. So that's going to be on top of my paper here. And then I did have this, I picked up these little alphabet soup doodle lumber design. It's an orange. And again, so just to bring in that orange. And I will pull into the butterflies and stuff like that too. So that's going to be part of my title. So that's what I got going on. I'll be back on in a second. Okay, you guys, I have gone off and pulled a bunch of the little laser cut ephemera pieces and set them in. I've kind of punched out some stuff, right? So I punched out a couple of the notebook, like edged card things. I punched in a bunch of butterflies, a couple of dragonflies. I've got that little notebook thing on the top of the photo there. And I've got a couple postage stamp looking things. Anything, I shouldn't say anything, but and some little faux buttons. I tried to get the orange and the pink and then, you know, some kind of on the yellower side. But I got those and laid them all out. Now, I've got this rub on here, and I'm just putting that in that bottom part down there. And then what I'm going to end up doing, she had this little coffee stain looking, probably a stamp, I'm guessing, on the layout. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. But I love how this rub-on turns out, honestly. These things are so gorgeous. I just love them. And I really like how this layout turned out, y'all. I got to tell you something, though. So recording these videos, I use my phone.
And I usually am pretty successful. I usually pay good attention most of the time. You know, sometimes my head gets over in there, but generally speaking, from a technology standpoint, I feel pretty good about it. Well, today, somehow, y'all, I accidentally threw it into cinematic. In cinematic, when you input, so normally what I have to do is I record it and it's like the wrong direction, meaning it's horizontal or something like, I need the whole screen to take the video. And then when you put it in iMovie, it rotates it or something like that. So it's like small or whatever. So I have to always like rotate it, right? So I rotate to the movie while I drag it into iMovie. Well, my God, it don't rotate like that. And y'all, I had a panic attack because I made this whole film without it. And but I figured it out. You could rotate it directly in iMovie. So any YouTubers, just FYI, it's fixable. So what I decided to do instead of the coffee stain looking things, I just used a little black and white frame. I had it in my drawer or my little bowl right here, and I thought, oh, I can use that instead, because I was kind of wondering, thinking to myself, what I want to do instead of that coffee stain, or to kind of use that element. And I decided on this little frame here, and I really like how this turned out. So I'm gonna glue that down with some wet glue, and then I'm gonna take the photo and lay it on top of it. I end up covering up that little butterfly right there in the upper right there, but it's okay. I've got 1,000 other things going on, so it's no problem. And then, what do I do next, y'all? I think I do the title. And I did have it on the little plastic pieces, so I'm going to cut away in just a minute, because it does take me a second to kind of peel these off and lay it down. But I'm kind of proud of how I did this, too, because I've got the little, always have is like the little orange small font, I showed you. And then I got the real big black letters here. And I think this turned out really pretty. And so it's kind of got this, like, always have big dreams, where the always have is to the left of big, and it takes up the space. And I think it's kind of pretty. Now, it doesn't do her, she had color and like multiple colors and stuff, and I don't have that, but I think the big title thing I've kind of got, so I'm happy with that. So now I've got my photo glued down. I've got my little frame there. I know I'm going to put this little notebook punch thing up there, and then now what I'm going to start doing is kind of building all the various different little clustery things, right? So I just dry fit them. I don't make you sit through me gluing them down, because there's a lot of butterflies. And if you know me at all, if you've watched me at all, you know I'm going to end up putting foam underneath all them wings. And that takes me just a little bit of time, because I got these little foam dots I got to stick up underneath them. So I'm just going to kind of start dry fitting everything where I think I want it to go. And I'm going to end up basically with little tickets and things on the left side up there. Now, she had a tag, and she had string coming off her tag, just like a tag string. I do use string, and you can see that at the very top up there. I guess it's technically like embroidery thread or something. It's got a pink and an orange up there. But I'm going to do something a little different than what she did. And I'm kind of proud. I should say never. I don't do it often at all. And so I'm kind of proud of myself for doing something different. And you'll see in just a second what I'm going to do. So right now I'm just kind of figuring, okay, which butterfly is going to go where. I think I've probably deviated from the sketch just a little bit in some sense from a design perspective. But at this point, I kind of know where it looks like. And I'm just going to make it work at this. I have all these butterflies I punched out, and I kind of wanted to use them, so I had to figure out ways to make them all fit. So, like I said, I'm just going to kind of set these things around. Do I use all them faux buttons? I think I do. I may leave one off. I think I don't use all but one, but everything else I end up putting on here. And I've got those 3 faux buttons up there, but I will find a home for them in just a minute too. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these string, and I've cut like a little length of it, and I'm going to split it apart here. And I'm going to make a little wad of string, y'all. I was proud of myself. I've seen, I'm so sorry, I forget who it is. I think there's a YouTuber, she does it all the time. And I'm so sorry, I forgot who it was. But I thought it's kind of interesting to me. In this case, since I didn't have a tag to work with, I really was like, well, how can I incorporate this string on here? And I kind of fell in love with this idea. And I really like these colors. I never pull these colors out. So it kind of worked out really well. I'm doing something a little bit different and a little bit, but still kind of an homage to the original sketch with their string, right? So, but I am going to end up doing this. I'm going to end up putting it up there, and then I'm going to put it down in the little right where I've got my rub-ons and all that kind of stuff. But I don't do it anywhere else initially. And I even put that string away, and then I think to myself, well, that's a little bit goofy, Christine. You need some in the upper right. So I'll pull it back out. I'll leave that at the end, though. You'll see that at the very end. Let's see, what have I got going on? I think I'm just kind of gluing this stuff down. And I do just use a little bit of wet glue to, oh, no, I'm not gluing it down yet. I'm just kind of dry fitting still yet. I'll use a little wet glue on the string, though, just to kind of glue like the middle pieces together, so it still has that stringy feel to it. It's not like completely stuck down the whole bits of it, just enough to keep it from coming off the page. I do end up putting foam underneath a couple of the faux buttons as well. And then I'll put foam underneath that yellow tag in the upper left cluster there that's got the 5s on it. I'll put a little foam underneath that as well. So what have I got going on here? I think I've glued everything down except this little baby bit here. So I've glued everything down, and I'm just working on this upper left cluster. And I've glued down the flat pieces, and I'm going to stick my little 5 tag here, right there. And then I'm going to use wet glue on the little bodies of the butterfly. And I did that for all the butterflies, by the way. I use wet glue on the little body parts, the middle parts, and then I'm going to end up using foam underneath their wings. And this little yellow faux heart here, little faux button rather, I'm going to put that on glue or on foam, and the red one just kind of goes tucked up underneath there. And what have I got going on next, y'all? I think the next thing I do is I may pull out the enamel dots. Y'all, these are those little baubles that come with it. The first thing I do is I find 3 of them that have words in them. So I have one that says "Be You," and it's on the right-hand side of the photo underneath on the left, the little black and white frame. In the left cluster, I use one that says "This Day," and then "Good Vibes" goes in the upper little cluster. And then I decided I'm going to go ahead and use some of these colored ones too. So I'm just going to kind of randomly pick the reds, pinks, and yellows, or orangey yellows, I guess, and put just 3 of them in 3 little spots to make a little visual triangle here. And so I think that's pretty much, oh, this is where I decide I need to add that extra string. So here it is. I've pulled it out. I'm going to just start, I pulled it out, I cut it up, I've shredded it, and now I'm just going to start gluing it down so you can kind of see this part here. And I kind of just tuck it in underneath like the wings of the butterflies and the little dragonfly and stuff up in there. And then I'm just gonna admire it for a minute. I don't know if I'll leave this in, to be honest with you, but I do kind of touch things, make sure they're sticking, make sure my glue and all that kind of stuff's working. And yeah, I just kind of admire it for a minute. In a second, I may cut some of that out, but if you see me in a second start putting my fingers all over it, that's what I'm doing. And I'm really happy with this, y'all. I think this is just, frankly, a gorgeous collection. I'm just in love with it. And I think the layout turned out really cute too. I really appreciated the original, so I was able to kind of interpret in my own way here. So this is the close-up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the playlist. The ladies are going to be on there. We skipped the 4th of July weekend, so this is the first one in 2 weeks. So don't forget to check those ladies out, and the original, of course. I think that'll be a video link as well. So we will see you, what is this? This is Sunday. There should be another video on Tuesday, unless it's mixed up Monday, and I don't remember. But watch my channel. Do this like and subscribe, and you'll know. And we will see you another time. Bye.